in the end.
After 4 successful entries in the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater franchise, Activision and Neversoft were eagerly ready to start work on the 5th game. Hell, even before the 4th game came out, Neversoft had already begun preliminary work in April 2002 of what could have been their version of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, but Neversoft was cooking up something a bit more different from the atypical THPS game. See, the franchise up to this point had mostly remained the same gameplay-wise. It was do as many goals as possible in 2 minutes, or beat them all in 2 minutes if you're a real badass at this franchise. 4 did change this slightly by giving you individual time limits for each goal, and each one would be done one at a time. Not to mention, each game kept adding new mechanics that would keep expanding combos. 2 added manuals, 3 added reverts, which could be chained from manuals, and 4 added spine transfers, again, which could be chained, well, reverts, manuals, and yeah. For this game, something entirely new would have to be added to further advance the franchise. Something that had never been done before in a game like this. We'll get to that when we get to it. Beyond that, it wasn't just about further refining the gameplay. Neversoft wanted to also give the game a more unique feeling instead of just going back to the standard skateboarding presentation they perfected up to this point. It's at this point they decided to give the game a story with a theme, individuality. The basic idea was to have an up-and-comer rise through the ranks and make it as a pro skater. The script here was actually inspired by many pros and their rise to professional skateboarding. Essentially, it would be a skateboarding adventure with you also encountering many real-life pros, and it would have a damn good script to boot. Not to mention, many of the pros helped with their own scenes and voicing themselves. Other improvements would include an expanded Create a Skater mode, including face scanning, for the PS2 version at least, where you could email your face and it would get digitized in the game, and an expanded Park Editor mode. Levels were also expanded to take advantage of the new improvements. Many were modeled after real locations, and the team actually traveled to the real-life cities to take pictures and videos to base the levels off of. Team designer Henry G. actually grew up in New Jersey, and the in-game level of New Jersey is based off the neighborhood he grew up in. One other improvement was tweaking the difficulty. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 did receive some flack for being too difficult. This was especially noted by newer fans who were not used to doing difficult goals. 4 difficulty settings were introduced as a result. Each player could start at whichever difficulty they felt accustomed to, and then replay on a higher difficulty to unlock more stuff, while veterans could jump to a higher difficulty. Development mostly went on smoothly, but gameplay mechanics and the structure didn't start work until end of August 2003, 2 months before the North American release. Despite a seemingly rushed ending, the game already had a playable demo. This was shown in Microsoft's Game Riot event at Lollapalooza in July 2003, but not before an E3 2003 appearance, which revealed the game's title as Tony Hawk's Underground. There was also a Tony Hawk's Face-Off mobile tour from Activision themselves. This event toured 29 cities in October 2003. People could play the game early, and they could even compete for a chance to win tickets to Boom Boom Hot Jam 2003. Activision also promoted the game at October 2003's Gravity Games event, which they also sponsored. They promoted it, and they used the game engine to model tricks done by real-life skateboarders. With the hype at an all-time high, the game had a lot to deliver on, and fortunately it did. Tony Hawk's Underground, respectively developed and published by Neversoft and Activision, was released for the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox on October 27, 2003 for North America, November 21, 2003 for Europe. A PC version was released sometime in 2004, but it was only in Australia and New Zealand as a budget title. Thug did everything the previous games did right, but not only did it further refine the gameplay, it also had a unique flavor that made it stand out from the past games. Thug has several modes of play. You have a free skate mode to skate on any unlocked map with options to do a 2-minute high score run. You have multiplayer options up the wazoo, with many returning modes like Trick Attack, Score Challenge, Combo Mambo, etc., including a new mode in Firefight, where you get bigger fireballs that shoot out of your board via big combos that you use to knock others off their board. You have online multiplayer for the PS2 version, which has a couple exclusive modes in goal attack and capture the flag. You have a create a trick mode for creating tricks, create a park mode to make your own park for free skate and online use, create a skater, which you will need for the big mode, and create a deck options for custom decks. There's also a create/play goals mode. This mode lets you make your own goals in any unlock/custom level. As you can see, customization really is the name of the game here. Each mode has plenty of options to do whatever you want. The only limit is your imagination. Sky really is the limit in all of this. But sometimes you need to explore yourself to get that creativity juice flowing, and that's where the main mode of the game comes in. Story mode. You have 4 difficulties for story mode. 2 easy, beginner, normal, and sick. Most players will be fine with normal, but beginners can use, beginner mode. Once you get in, you get dropped into your room, and you can edit your skater from there. You have a bunch of pre-made templates for both male and female options. There are a couple interesting templates here. A female named Sheena who looks like a punk rocker, insert Ramones reference here. Daisy, one of the unlockable characters from Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, not voiced by Jenna Jameson here. You also have someone who looks like they were from They Live after Nada puts on the glasses, a green alien chick, and if Steve Harvey decided to dress up as a pimp named Slickback from the Boondocks. You have plenty of customization options for skater info, trick style, pushing manga or not, head options, including face, skin color, hair, facial hair, hats, glasses, torso, shirt type/color, logos, backpacks, accessories/colors, pants, type, which includes shorts, colors, socks and shoes, tattoo options, just about any part you can see, or some you can't see that's within the ratings confines, scale options, and options for helmets, elbow, and knee pads. You can also face map your own face, or any other image for that matter, onto your custom skater. You're either going to be here for a while, or just jump straight into it. Need to switch things up here, since I already used my own take on the default male model, and the male default model itself, so, Oh, I have an idea. Since the female player voice is Melissa Disney, this actually gives me an easy way out. We'll do our best to recreate her best-known character, Ginger Foutley from As Told by Ginger. One recreation later, we're off. We're chilling in our house, working on our board, when our friend Eric Sparrow, voiced by Ben Diskin, shows up. He tells us Chad Muska is coming to New Jersey, where we are, for a skate demo. After Eric insults our board, we head out. We end up reminiscing about the old days before we're finally given control. We skate up to Eric and he's already in a bit of trouble.
I was just skating, minding my own, and the dealers grabbed my board. They tore it apart and they threw the pieces up on the roof.
The goal is actually the introduction to one of the main new aspects of the game. You can now get off your board and walk/run around. This will allow you to climb onto objects, which our first objective has us climb on a roof to get the parts for Eric's board. I already talked about the controls in general for these games in my Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2 review, and they're pretty much the same and still excellent, by the way, so I won't recap them here. With the exception of the new additions here, we'll cover them as we get to them. The walking controls are analog sensitive, so pushing all the way lets you run, while easing can let you walk. Your timing has to be on point for climbing objects, or else you won't go. The game never really relies on it though, since it's not a platformer, so you won't have to use it too much, just for the necessary parts. After we get the pieces, we then practice getting on and off the board. We get off and jump over the barriers, and then we're introduced to another new mechanic. The Caveman. This lets you jump from a walk to a grind on a rail. You also have combo runout. This allows you to walk in the middle of a combo. The meter doesn't reset in between getting on and off, so be careful. As you can see, this already allows us to do things that we weren't able to do before, access other places we couldn't reach, so we can start some more unique lines. And believe me, with the other new additions, there's going to be a lot more good stuff where that came from. It just opens your playbook up so much to do, well, just about anything your heart desires within the confines of skateboarding. After relearning, or learning for the first time depending on who you are, grabs, reverts, and manuals, we face Eric in a high score contest. Probably in here, you will unintentionally do stat challenges. The stat system has been reworked from the past games. Instead of collecting points to spend in the levels, you'll do challenges that target specific stats like air, manual, speed, etc. Do these and you'll increase your stats. The challenges do get more difficult as you knock more of them down. From there, you can pick whatever goals you want to do. One thing to note is that you unlock special tricks by encountering pros. They'll ask you to fill up your special meter, do the trick, and it's yours. After enough goals, we view Chad Muska's demo. He also shows off the hydraulics on his car.
Yo, check this out.
So that's where that idea in Need for Speed Underground 2 came from. If we want to move up, we got to impress him. You get a decent combo in front of him and he takes notice of you.
Hey, what's up, man? That was a sick line you had back there.
Whoa, Chad Muska? I'm a huge fan.
Dang, man, that's some ghetto ride you got rolling, though.
Yeah, but I'm pretty broke. I gotta make it last.
I hear you, man. Back in Vegas, I had no money, no place to stay, nothing, man, until my first shop sponsor hooked me up. So why don't you head down to your shop, check out their riders, and try to get hooked up. And yo, Merry Christmas.
Thanks.
We take his advice and go to Stacy Peralta's shop. He's not in, but we're told we need to impress the riders on his team, get them to sign off, and on to fame and glory. The sun also sets at this point, which is a nice new touch, and short segue into the graphics. Might as well get them out of the way now. The graphics for Thug are pretty good. For starters, the level design is pretty good. Object placement is key not just for looks, but also for performing tricks. Fortunately, the game succeeds well in this regard. Objects have been placed, well, in pretty much every level with respect to grinds and spine transfers, etc., and especially with the new mechanics in mind, like walking and a lot more of the other stuff, which we'll get to later on. On top of that, with the levels getting bigger, there are more opportunities for unique lines and such, but it is all pleasant to look at. Objects in the environment look good thanks to textures and aesthetics, day-to-night transitions and other touches like that, and they fit the mood for each map they should be on, and even if some of it does seem to blend together, like Tampa, San Diego, and Hawaii for example, they do enough to make them stand out so the levels all feel unique. This also applies to other objects like cars, foliage, and whatever else you'll find in the levels. Character models also look pretty good. Pros look pretty much how you would expect them to, and the custom characters, when not looking outlandish as hell, look good alongside them. It even looks better on the Xbox, which has 720p support, so everything gets that extra edge. On top of that, the game manages to keep a very consistent 60 frames per second with minimal drops, little to none, and you know what? Yeah, that's good. I don't really have much else to add to the graphics. I know I'm not the best with this. I try my damnedest, but all I can say I do know is that it's pleasant to look at and I like it. Now back to the main game. Now that we have a better board, it's time to get sponsored. Our main goals here include getting a specific number of points in 2 minutes or so, hitting a very specific line in one combo, then repeat, spine transferring into garbage, then adding a flip trick, and do the equivalent of Simon Says, with, well, tricks being called out. Then, for the grand finale, get onto the roof, transfer over the alley, and spine back down. Before we can sponsor, well, there's a problem. The dealers who took Eric's board earlier stole some gear from the shop, and we need to get it back. With the dealers all out and about, we need to use the climbing mechanics to get up to the roofs to sneak across to their place and get the gear. As we head back over, Eric blows up the dealer's car. This is clearly an omen of things to come. After that insanity, we finally meet Stacy Peralta. We need to make a unique video to impress him. We then find Eric, and it seems that stunt got him in some trouble.
When I got back to my house last night, they were parked outside waiting for me. I gotta get the hell out of here. My cousin's got a place in New York. You've gotta help me get to the train station across the river.
We collect specific pieces of junk to get a ramp built. More use of the walking and climbing here. and then Johnny Turbo will let us sketch on his car to get enough speed to jump over the bridge.
Yikes! And away!
The guard won't let us in, so we end up irking him, and we grind around in a circle to make him chase us. After that, Ollie the Magic Bum's house blew away, and we need to get the pieces back in one combo. We do that, and then we must get a certain number of points without touching the street. The dealers take Eric, so we follow them to save him. Johnny Turbo and friends block the dealers, and they make a U-turn. We then use his car to chase them. Oh yeah, you now have other vehicles to drive in this game when you complete certain challenges. These don't really add much though, and the handling of them isn't great. The turning itself doesn't feel properly stable, but these don't overstay their welcome, so you can get by just fine. But even after completing the challenges and unlocking the vehicle for free use, I didn't find myself using these very much. But that's just me. Anyways, we wreck them, free Eric, and we book it to where it's always once upon a time, New York City. We're gonna need some unique spots to impress Peralta. In addition to standard goals like high score, there are some other ones to help us get a feel for the environment, such as helping a student get some of their stuff back. We also learned about grind combos. We then hit some more famous spots and knock over the other nut vendor carts with a beater of a car.
Take out the other vendors and I'll give you free nuts for life.
We really are in the early 2000s again. We then have to help with locals before they'll help film us. We'll also hit a line and send the beater to sleep with the fishes. There's a building with some good terrain that will help us in our video, but guards are blocking it. Fortunately, they have a weakness: hot and steaming nuts.
The guards are tough, but I heard they like hot steaming nuts. Get some nuts from the vendors and bring them back to the guards before they get cold.
Hey, phrasing!
We give them their metaphorical kryptonite, and we can now do what we need to do: hit a nut buster outside a window. To end our video, Eric will film us tricking over a flaming taxi. We hit the tricks over the taxi before time runs out, and our video is ready. Stacy is impressed, and we're on the team. Before we can get to our next stop, we're going to run some errands for Stacy, including helping a relative, which helps us get used to the new variation of the wall plant, which itself is derived from the wall push, new in this game. For a push, push off a wall while in a manual, and do that in the air for a wall plant. Afterwards, we end up at the local McDonald's where the Japanese fusion chef there, random equals funny to some I guess, wants us to combine old skating techniques such as the no-comply and blownness in our routines. If I had a nickel for every time there was a McDonald's in a Tony Hawk or skating-esque equivalent game under Activision, released in '03, well, you know. Anyways, our last goal here is to get back some stolen decks. With that, we get the old hippie bus and we're off to Tampa for the Tampa Am.
One busted taillight.
Oh, that escalated quickly. Yeah, if we're gonna get to the contest, we're gonna have to do some favors for the cops/mayors to get Eric out. We wall ride to remove some stickers, collect some donuts, find a nickel for every Simpsons reference in a 2003 game. Project Gotham Racing 2 is the other one, just so you know. Catch a robber by following drop cash, and help a private eye get pictures of a cheating couple by grinding the car 5 times and transferring over an awning. Also, deliver his dry cleaning. Eric is out, and now it's time for some payback. We have to grind down Jed signs and ditch the cops in a stolen police car. With that, we make it to the park, and our name is on the list. Eric only put his name down, and this is where it gets bad for us.
Oh, now check the list. Eric Sparrow, a.k.a. the guy who's gonna win Best Trick tomorrow.
AKA cocky knucklehead. Okay, you're in. Whoa, easy there, Chief. The list's all checked off.
What? You signed us both up, right?
Well, I mean, I sent mine for him in, you know.
Dude, look, I'll sign up now.
I told you, the list is full. Feel free to watch from the bleachers, though.
Now we have to try to tear it up around town to impress a pro, and after another perform called out tricks on Bam Margera's boat, wall planting off a drawbridge, beating Andrew Reynolds' best 3 combos, and knocking down all the bottles in the bowl in one combo, we get a chance. We have to hit some tricks that involve spinning, reverting, and reverting into a manual. One last round of nail the tricks called out with some spins in there, we get the attention of the Birdman himself, Tony Hawk. We have a little high score contest, and he's impressed.
Whoa, not bad. Where are you from?
I came all the way down from New Jersey for the Tampa Am.
Talk about a surprise attack. If you stay on your board tomorrow, you'll walk away with the contest.
I can't. It's full. I worked so hard to get a sponsorship from Stacy Peralta.
Stacy Peralta? I know that dude. He was my first sponsor too back in the 80s. Is he still into yoga? That's one weird dude, but cool as they come. Look, I can't make any guarantees, but I'll talk to the guys at the contest. Just show up tomorrow.
That word went a long way, and we're in the Tampa Am. We've got the street contest first. 3 rounds, average from the best 2 out of 3, just like the competitions in the old games. After placing, we'll take a break to beat some guy's high score on the rooftops. Next, the vert competition. Same deal as street, but now we're in the half pipe. We place there, and it's off to the best trick competition. Every 30 seconds, the skater with the lowest score is out. Big combo points count as long as there's no bailing. Last 2 advance. The final 2 are us and Eric. We get 1 minute and the highest score wins. Beat him and we win. We become an amateur and we have 5 sponsors to choose from. Birdhouse, Element, Flip, Girl, and Zero. Naturally, Ginger is the perfect fit for a girl. After choosing our sponsor and new deck, off to sunny San Diego. Our team leader, Todd, tells us we need to get more coverage to move up. We start by tricking over the stairs. We also follow a line to knock over flower boxes, doing a 540 flip over the horse, then acid dropping, another new addition here, on the other side. Acid drops let you jump above quarter pipes and land into them for higher launch combos. This is a good time to mention that many of the new additions fit well with the already excellent control scheme. They're easy to pull off and it's easy to link moves together. It did take me a little bit with some of the acid dropping and spine transferring, but you eventually get used to it after a while. It does take a little bit more to get used to on the GameCube and Xbox due to different control layouts, mainly in the shoulder button department. We then hit some tricks over the atrium gap. Make sure to get plenty of air for these. We then have a line to manual, then varial heel flip over an arch, then back into a manual. Lastly, we hit tricks called out while spine transferring over the horse. This lands us on the cover of a magazine. Now there's only one thing left to do. Party. We put up flyers via wall plans. The band also got their instruments jacked, and we have to get them back. Now we need some chicks, who don't even know the name of the band, but they'll be all on them like they want to hold hands. We hit a couple separate big scores, do some background tricks, and then they know we're the one. We then acid drop off 2 towers, and try to get the best lap and a security card because breaking the law. The party was so much of a riot that by the next day, everyone is out, and now we have to get ready for the demo, and oh, damn it. Yep, Eric is back, and he's none too happy even though he screwed us over before. The guards get their cart back, so we sketch on the back of it to get the boards back while avoiding the guards. We get them back, and now we work to get the rest of the team. After hitting a big combo and getting our stickers back, it's demo time. We first hit grinds called out on a high bar, which I actually struggle with this goal quite a bit, because sometimes you'd hit it and you wouldn't get the grind you need, and you'd have to take longer to get back around, so yeah, kind of not a lot of room for error, but when it's done, you never have to do it again, except for repeats, but playthroughs, but that's another story. Afterwards, we get a high score, and then we finish off by hitting a special lip trick on the stage lights. With that, it's time for a change of scenery. Welcome to the land where Mele Kalikimaka is the way to say Merry Christmas. Hawaii. We're going to do the same thing we did in San Diego here. Tear up some spots, find them, and put together a video for the Slam City Jam. For starters, we do several tricks near sets of brides and grooms, then collect some blaze, use another beater car to smash some pineapple stands, collect the letters that spell the Hawaiian word for difficult, and drain 2 different pools by wall planting a vending machine a few times and acid dropping into the other one. All of this is fine and dandy, but we need something that's really gonna put this video on the map. A true moment that makes you say... Before we can get to that, we've got more goals to do. Land in combos in front of groups of bikini girls, win another competition, hit 3 Wallows bowls in 1 combo, grind a particular wire to the end and do a crooked grind, do a manual down off a wall, then back, doing a handstand, tricking on just about everything in the Wallows, and holding a lip trick long enough at several spots. After that, we go to the top of the hotel roof for one of the sickest stunts in the history of this franchise.
You serious? You miss your Ollie, we'll be sending you back to Jersey in a coffee can.
Todd said he wanted something big. This is it.
After hitting a gap, getting a high score on the roof, and spine transferring over the quarter pipe down to the street below while spinning big, it's time for the big one. A McTwist over the helicopter, and it's just as crazy as it sounds. Make sure to land it or else you'll have to try again. Heck, you can land on the ground just as long as you land it. The boneless is your friend here, and there's even a nice little Matrix slow-mo effect too when you hit the move. After we get the footage, Eric heads back down to meet us and we ditch the fuzz as we head to Vancouver for our next stop. There are still some last-minute things to do in Vancouver. Get some more footage. Such footage includes busting nollies because the guy that was supposed to got drunk, busting pressure flips, another new addition. They only use 1 foot and work the same way as a nollie. You just choose the pressure mode first. Scoring points that use nollies and pressures, help someone get footage through the underground, perform flatland tricks being called out, drive a leaf blower. It's the worst controlling vehicle. Seriously, it feels like a damn tank, and eventually in some of the other places you have to navigate it into, it's not good. Retrieve stolen equipment, learn a locals only combo line, find Ralphie's passport, which is where the worst part of that leaf blower comes in, getting a high score, and getting the guest passes in a combo. After picking up the VIP sponsors while driving a limo, the driver also must have partied too hard. It's time for the premiere. Here's where the real betrayal comes in.
Did I miss my part?
Part? You weren't even in it, but Eric's part ruled. He did the sickest rooftop gap I've ever seen. Roof to roof in Hawaii, 40 stories up.
What the? That was my trick and my spot.
That's right. Eric stole our part and made it look like it was him who did the McTwist over the copter. As a result, he turns pro and is on his way to Moscow. We're none too happy about this.
You poached my shots. Where's my footage?
Oh, man, I couldn't bring myself to tell you. See, there was this thing at Customs.
Lying sack of... Ugh!
Hey! We go way back, so I'm gonna forget you just did that. Now listen, I got 3 parties to hit, but you better go rest up for the amateur contest tomorrow.
It's time for revenge. We put ourselves down for the pro contest for the Slam City Jam.
You're a pro? They entered you as an amateur.
Someone made a mistake.
Now they're about to pay for that mistake. There are several competitions for us to shred, but first we need to remove some fans from the lights. How'd they get up there anyway? Anyway, the first competition is a vert competition. After, we learn about hip transfers, the last major addition here in the game. It's like a spine transfer, but it lets you transfer between quarter pipes perpendicular to each other. Finally, the street competition. Tear it up, and then you'll beat Eric's score on his best line in 1 combo. We win the Slam City Jam, and we now have the ability to design our own deck. We are now a pro after all, so we have to give our own look as all, which further ties into the whole individuality ordeal. One last thing to do, get a shoe sponsor. There are multiple sponsors around town, and we just need to pick one, do the goal they give to us, and we get the sponsor. We get our gear, our shoes, our trophy, and we make it to the bus just in time. Off to Moscow. You know the deal. Hit some good spots, get some footage, and get ready for a demo. Various things you'll do here include hit lip tricks called out, including switch them as you end up on the top of the ramp, knock down cameras by grinding them, and caveman a tank into a combo. We'll eventually need to get to the other side, so we spine transfer over a wall to do so, then distract the guards. All part of, well, just listen.
I'll figure out phase 3 of Operation D's.
Operation D's what?
D's nuts!
Got him!
Knock the guards over and then climb up the ladder to ring the bells to open the gates. Bam certainly wants to take a tank to drift. We end up having to coexist with Eric for now. We land some flatland combos to warm up, score some high scores on camera while TV crews are doing stories, get a manual combo to help some girl being bugged by reporters, and find a certain number of gaps. We'll have to keep coexisting with Eric by scoring points and getting points in doubles tricks. Eric does a lip trick and we trick over him. Later that night, Eric gets drunk and tries to take a tank for a drive. We try to stop it, but he gets out before we crash it. We get thrown in jail and Eric lies about what happened. Todd also hangs us out to dry, but the American embassy gets us out. But they've already left. Now we have to find our way back home. We get a mysterious call and we're told to meet some contacts. We do spins over a satellite dish with a magnet on our board to shut it down. After using another beater car to pick up girls for a party, we find Callow who can help us out after we help cure him of his hangover. We then take a bag to his boss while avoiding guards and in night vision no less, and finally, we make it back to New Jersey. Eric's heel turn is finally complete.
I don't care how many kids are waiting. Well, look who's here. I was hoping to see you. I never got to thank you for handing me Best New Pro back in Russia.
You still don't get it.
No, homie. I got it all. My own company, 6 cars in my garage, a record deal in the works, and what do you got, huh? Food stamps?
You go ahead, keep telling yourself you're happy. But it ain't about the money.
I can't believe I'm wasting my time with this jackass. She probably skates for minimum wage. See ya.
You'll see. I'm not going anywhere. I still got a few real friends left.
We finally go back to Stacy and he gives us some words of wisdom.
Skating is whatever you make it. It didn't change. You're the one that changed. Now go skate. You'll remember why you started in the first place.
We start by hitting a special trick we made, which can be further customized in the trick editor, doing a combo over the city, and that gives us an idea. We start by wanting to form a team and make a video to show what skating is really about. Since everything went down, we need to put our name back out there. Videos of nailing tricks being called out, getting a high score around the city, and we get word from Mike Vallely about how many pros he's talked to about this sounds cool. We pick our pros and our team name and we're off. Time to shred all expectations. Each level has a goal to complete that will go to this video. Each pro will do one goal. New Jersey, hit tricks over the train station spined. New York, hit spots in the time allotted. Tampa, you must hit 4 combos, but with each line we lose more features. First line, free reign. Second one, no spine transfers, kind of like Tony Hawk 3. Third one, no reverts or spine transfers like Tony Hawk 2. Lastly, no reverts, spine transfers, or manuals like Tony Hawk 1. And after the first one, walking cannot be used. San Diego, we hit the vert transfers. Hawaii, spine or acid drop the 4 ludicrous hotel spines within the time limit. Vancouver, land the spine series, then score the amount needed in a combo. Slam City Jam, hit all the spots within a certain number of combos. Moscow, get all the tapes in the line in one combo. Note that you don't have to do all the goals, you just pick the ones you want to do. Some are easier or more difficult than others, especially on higher difficulties, mainly the Tampa goal. But once you're done, the video is a success. We can ride off into the sunset, and for Ginger here, find someone to stick by her and...
Oh, how How cute. Two little skaters and their ghetto shop.
Oh, yeah. He still doesn't get it. We refuse to be bought out, but before we go, he teases us with one last thing.
Not this. Remember? Hawaii, building jump, helicopter? That was some sick footage. Too bad no one ever saw it.
You backstabbing, mop-flipping cockroach!
Hey! What do you say? One last trip around the neighborhood. Winner takes the tape.
Oh, wow! Wow!
Oh, wow! Not only does she... Oh my god! Look at his face! What a punch! So powerful it broke his model.
You got knocked the fuck out!
Okay, alright, that's actually the alternate ending if you beat it a second time. The final challenge has you following Eric's line within the time limit while he tries to trip you up with fire. Seriously, this is so ridiculous, and even then, you've got to actually be damn near on point to get this. In any case, hit the line, and even on normal it's tough, and you're done. You get the tape back either way, you see the footage of the trick, the end. Wait, there's more?
Hello, ladies! Nice legs. What time do they open?
Can't say he didn't have it coming. The sound is always on point like it usually is. The game always keeps skating sounds like they would be in real life, though there isn't really much variety for each individual object at this point. But this is only a minor setback. All tricks do sound like they normally would, and even for the more crazy stuff, that sound fine as well. Not to mention, I never get tired of the special tricks sound effect. The voice acting here is pretty good. For the first game in this series with an actual story, I think they did a good job. The delivery of the lines is on point, the pros sound as they should, and the non-real characters fit alongside the pros well. Their delivery is also on point, especially Ben Diskin. He really makes Eric Sparrow one evil SOB by the time his heel turn is complete. Fun fact as well, if you get a copy of the game signed by him, be prepared to be asked how bad it could be messed up. He'll cross out Tony Hawk and label it Eric Sparrow's Underground, and throw a quote on the box from Eric. I can actually speak from experience when I got my copy signed. Mine's is about that damn tape. Of course, the soundtrack is also a high point. You got a solid mix of rock, punk, and hip-hop, all spanning from the 70s up to when the game was new. At 78 songs, with only 6 of them in in-game skate videos, it's the largest soundtrack in the entire series. Artists featured include Alkaline Trio, Bad Religion, Rise Against, Fu Manchu, Kiss, Queens of the Stone Age, Nas, and Jurassic 5, whose A Day at the Races serves as the main theme. The songs chosen fit the game and are mostly good in their own way. The Xbox version has custom soundtrack support, which is always a plus. This game has quite a bit of replayability. You can find secret tapes in the levels, up to 9, for bonus videos, 2 bail vids, and an always hard video. There are also 3 old school icons that will unlock the OG levels from Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. They are in New Jersey, Hawaii, and Moscow. They respectively unlock School 2, Venice Beach, and The Hangar. Beating the story on at least easy, normal, and hard, or beginner, normal, and sick, will respectively unlock Iron Man, Gene Simmons from Kiss, and Thud. You also get the Kiss theme level Hotter Than Hell just by beating the game in general, and activating the letters on it will get a Kiss concert video. Finding all the gaps gets you pedestrians to play as, and completing all goals can get you plenty of cheats to play around with. You'll be here for a while. Tony Hawk's Underground shows that even if a franchise seems like it's running out of steam, all it takes is a simple idea to breathe some new life into it. It also helps that it was done well. The game looks well, sounds well, plays well, controls well. There's plenty of replayability. It's just an all-around fun game with a cool aesthetic. The problems I have mostly depend on the platform you play it on. The PS2 version doesn't look the best, but it does have online play and controls the best. The Xbox version looks the best and has custom soundtrack support, but no online play. The GameCube version also has no online play, and like the Xbox version, the controls take some getting used to. Regardless, these are minor faults and don't impact this otherwise damn near perfect game. This is a good entry for newcomers since the difficulty isn't too bad until much later on, mainly for higher difficulties. Plus, it's the most robust one due to all the new additions. They blend well, and you know what? I could just keep going on forever about it, but just play this game. I give Tony Hawk's Underground a perfect 5 out of 5 with a badass seal of approval. This game still holds up 21 years later.
Thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, click the big red button below to subscribe. Check out the other links in the description for more cool stuff, and check out the playlist on screen for more content. See you in the next video.